The year was 1911, and the northern slopes of the McPherson Ranges were opened for agricultural land selection. That same year, 8 young men from the Blue Mountains took up land selection on Roberts Plateau due to farmland in the Blue Mountains becoming less viable for expansion. In the early years, without adequate access to the plateau, all supplies were transported in by foot 20 kilometres from Kerry. Packs averaged 100 pounds at times until a track was cut through the Stockyard Creek Gorge in 1914, which allowed horses to be used to transport cream for sale down the mountain and return with the necessary supplies. The men constructed humpies from stringy bark and tallow woods, eucalyptus trees, to meet the strict selection conditions. Today, we go in search of these long-lost humpy sites.
All right, welcome back on this very chilly morning at O'Reilly's. So I'm heading out on the border track, about halfway out to Mount Bethongabel, to an old trail cutters camp, and then got another couple of hut sites to go and explore, both relating to the O'Reillys back in the early 1900s, and I'm going to go and check out the original O'Reilly's campsite. Let's get onto it. This is the old Moran's Creek camp, aka the Trail Cutters Camp.
While the O'Reillys opened the border track to Mount Bethongabel in 1912, it wasn't until the 1930s when a base camp was constructed partway out to Mount Bethongabel to assist with the expansion and maintenance of the growing trail network. By 1939, there were up to 56 men working on trail construction and maintenance throughout the park.
They made a wall around here with stones to try and flatten it out. So at one point in time, there was actually two camps. There was one here and there was one just across Moran's Creek. As it says here, Moran's Creek camp consisted of small plywood huts, canvas tents, corrugated iron cooking galleys, outdoor showers, pit toilets, and an open copper for washing clothes. Huts for single men, married men, and some with young families, and a separate quarters for the overseer were constructed on the western side of the gully. So that's that second camp I was talking about on the other side of the creek. Let's go and look around. This is crazy that it was back in the late 30s, just before the Second World War. This place was bustling. It's like a stone slab of where one of the huts were. The old slab here. Looking from the back of it. So I'm going to head down to the to the creek and see if we can find the other camp. Well, there's definitely evidence of a creek crossing here that's been here quite a long time. There's a proper track going down here. Let's see if we can go and find this camp. Maybe somewhere over there. What's this? A Green Mountains pioneer, Norbert O'Reilly. This sign remembers one of the Green Mountains pioneers, Norbert O'Reilly, who worked his selection of 169 acres from 1912 to 1916 and established his home here on portion 47, Roberts Plateau. Not a bad place to live for old Norb. Walking track there back to the border track. Nice running fresh water here. Just a nice tranquil place. I knew the Trail Cutters camp was on Norb's property. I didn't expect to come across Norb's plot of land though, like where is his hut site. I don't think right there is his hut site, but it's in this immediate area. So apart from a few neatly placed stones, I don't see any more remnants of the old camp. But this is reasonably flat here and it's quite well shaded. So I'd assume that the second camp, it was either for the single men or for the married men with kids, were here. I don't know whether it's bullet holes. That's Moran's Creek. Yeah, what a place to call home. I was quite surprised about Norb's hut site area. I didn't realise that was right near the Trail Cutters camp. Anyway, got a 2 for 1 there. How cool is that? So I'm going to be off to the original hut site now. Original O'Reilly's hut site and the campsite. I'm puffing because I just went up a hill and it was maybe 30 metres. Cool beech trees. On our next hike between myself and Kyle, which I'm going to leave a secret for the time being, but it's back up here at O'Reilly's. I'm going to give you guys a bit more details about these old ancient giants. Absolutely fascinating. All right, I'm finally caffeinated. That was a tough walk back. It was only a 6 or 7k hike back from the Trail Cutters camp, but I was definitely feeling that last 2k's. Thank goodness for coffee. Let's go and check out Mick's Tower. It's just off the track. So Mick was one of the original O'Reillys that come up to the plateau. I do wonder why his tower's here though. And here's Mick's Tower. Let's try and find out what it was actually used for. And I'm assuming it's still in use. Like, you can actually climb up there. Opened on the 5th of August 1990. Named in the honour of Mick O'Reilly, the first employee of the Forestry Department, 1919 to 1923. I thought it might have been like an old tower back from like 1919. Anyway, let's get back on track. So one of the clues I'm working on to find this old hut site is that in one of the O'Reilly's books, it mentions that the old hut site is within 500 feet to the guest house. So the guest house, the location of that is exactly where the dining room is of the current guest house. Wow. You can actually walk through this one. You don't need to do a multi-day hike to go over a swing bridge. There's one on this trail. Oh wow, it's moving around a bit. Jeepers. These big fern trees. There's like a bit of a waterfall just on the other side. One of the clues is that it's very close to a small waterfall. So let's keep going. That's the waterfall I was talking about. Just found something interesting. Now this is probably the boundary between two different selections. That was the original one through there. It's another fence post. Another one. Where is it? Just there. Look, even comes with wire. So this was definitely, I think, the border of two different selections, two different lands, like property between the brothers. Because these posts are well over 100 years old. I'm just gonna go over here because there may be like an old worn track. No, it kind of peters out. I could be walking through here for hours, walking around in circles trying to find this hut. I think I might just make a run for it, and if I come across it on the way down to the campsite, then I'll show you, but I feel like I need more information about this. It's a bit of a pity. We're definitely gone past the area, I think, of where the hut site was. The original Humpy, as they called it. So, hang on, I may have found something. It looks like it's been dug out. You can see like a bit of a rise here. So it's been man-made. So close and just not enough information. See how there's like an embankment here. So I don't know if it's a road or... Yeah, look, it's definitely been cut out and it's eroded over time. There's that embankment there. So I think it's an old road. Maybe up to one of the boys' selections. But yeah, like I said, the foliage is pretty close to what it should be. Seeing it was all cleared originally. So it's about just over 100 years old since they were up here. First come up here. Just on another side trail, come across an old fence post again. I swear this place is oozing history. All right, we turn off here to go down to Moran's Falls. And also the old camp. So I think what we might do is have a break at the old campsite and regroup. I need to charge my phone. Bit of a creek crossing. From times I've been here, remember it's a bit slippery. It's Moran's Creek. So we're about to cross the creek to the lookout. But this way heads over to the camp. There's a lookout over there. There's someone over there. And Moran's Falls is just behind here. However, right here, looked very different back in the day, is the old campsite for when the O'Reillys first come to the plateau. Now, some sources are saying this is the old hut site, but I'm not so certain. From what I've read, this is not close to a small waterfall because Moran's Falls is there. This is within several feet of a 300 foot cliff, which that's well and truly not a bad place to call camp for your first time up on the plateau. Danger, Jifar. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, Jifar. If I didn't pronounce it correctly, let me know. She's gushing today. That clearing just there, that's where the campsite was. The hut we're looking for is Luke and Pat's hut. Yeah, this trail's definitely not well worn. Anyway, I should have Pat's Bluff for myself. So Pat's Bluff 1.1. Made a bit of a slight error in my navigating before, but I only went like 100 meters. Now I'm on the right track. And it's only a bit of a faint track at times. So I'm getting very close to Pat's Bluff now. It was a bit crazy there a few times. I lost the trail and I was bush bashing for a few minutes. But yeah, getting very close. Looking forward to seeing it. Hopefully it's there. We are so close now. Another 15-20 meters. And we should get one of the most amazing views of the scenic rim. Trail goes down there. I'm not going to go down there though. But this is Pat's Bluff. So his hut's nearby here, of course. But what a view to walk down to in the morning. We've dropped down in elevation quite a bit too. Seems like there's a few people that come down here. I think we're a no deal with this Pat and Luke's Humpty or hut. There seems like a lot of ferns around here, like bracken fern and that. So that would suggest that at some point in time in the last 100 years, there's been a fire through here. Because I've actually just gone past where it was supposed to be. It's all open forest there, so that's obviously been at some point in time that was logged. Plus, from the photos that I've seen, it was on a reasonably flat part of ground. So this is all quite flat here. Back there it gets a bit steeper, and I can't imagine it'll be up there because I went well past where I thought it was. So I'm not going up there. So I'm going to start making my way over here. These are my suspicions. There's been a fire through here at some point in time.
In this aerial imagery from 2014, the hut's still there. Then by May 2016, it's gone.